There is not a fax machine in that room.
There's no equipment, is there? no
It's very,
computer? There's no-
most of what's in there is outdated.
How did you get it before? How did Lane get the reports before?
They were faxed to him.
His house?
I think to the office there, but what it was faxed on, I don't know.
There is some old fax equipment in that office, so I don't know if it's no longer operational or, but we can certainly look at that.
Yeah, we're only talking, we're talking a $200 fix here, it's just not that big of a deal to get a fax machine, we need to get a computer in there and have an operational office in that station.
And we do plan to, as soon as we get the dumpster gone and another one back there so we can do another cleaning process, that's one of my priorities, is getting that office clean.
So
Ready
if
for it.
if IT and if we got the equipment, the volunteers would clean the office and prep it.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
And that, when you said we still need a lot of things, is that what you were talking about? Not necessarily medical supplies on the,
Not supplies so much, we can go to the city and get our supplies. One issue we have is if we have a patient who doesn't want to go with us, we have them fill out a refusal form, has to be signed by them and witnessed by 2 people that are not the EMTs that are taking care of them. And right now, we don't have those forms. They were duplicate forms, so the first copy stayed with the driver with us, the second copy went to the patient.
Okay, so we can.
We don't have them.
We can,
Yeah.
you just need to let
The
somebody
city
know.
of Ely doesn't use them.
Oh,
We have our own forms.
Yeah, there's
Our
no
Yeah,
forms.
they have
This
their
is
own
something
forms,
like-
they don't have what we have.
I just
Let's
don't
do this.
look at.
Let's do this. Let's put that on the item for the committee that we're meeting after the meeting, and let's bring that up during your committee.
okay.
Yeah, a
Because
lot of it's
we're just
subject.
kinda we're going over and
Okay.
over and over.
Yeah.
We need to get back in line here. So we're gonna work on that, Carol, we will, and the committee will bring it back to us. We're gonna go off of number 8, we're gonna finish public comment, because we're trying to move it, we don't wanna get repetitious, and we don't wanna go, the committee can address some of these issues that you just brought up, and I think they've done a really good job. So let's stay back in public comment, and anything new that you have, fine, and if not, we'll.
Okay, I have one more thing
That's
under
fine.
H,
That's
please.
fine.
The licensing, our new EMTs, and some of our EMTs who did their recertification back in
May.
October last year, whose licenses expired March 31st, including mine, except that I'm all right. Some of those have not been able to get into the state program to get their license, copies of their licensing and stuff. I had that issue, I was able to get it accomplished about the end of April, when mine was expired March 31st. I don't know how to get the state to do this and keep us up to date and get, they've changed their programming some. Hey, I've called them twice, I talked to 2 different people. Actually, I called the one,
Okay, we'll go
3
ahead
times.
and,
Others have talked to them, we've gotten over it.
we'll discuss this at the meeting afterwards.
See if there's some way you can help get.
Okay, you say recertification, are there 2 people?
We have two research,
And then new
and then
certification?
the new ones, there's 3 of those. I think one of them has gotten hers, but the others haven't.
Okay, so there's 2 that need it.
There's actually 4.
Would you get those names to Brett after?
Yeah,
After
I
the break.
think Brett has
Yeah,
mostly knows who they are.
Okay,
yeah, all this stuff I was gonna bring up at our meeting
okay,
afterwards.
oh, all right, all right.
But I think I think the public needs to know why we're having the issues we are and
So
what's
some of this
going
is
on.
with the state.
And this is it, it's not just the county or the city but it's, you know, it's a state over on the other side of the state, and they put in new programs, but they're not up and running properly, and you get bogged down, and people get discouraged after a while. So,
Okay, we'll see what we can do,
anyway,
Carol.
I would
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it if you help us.
Thanks for your comments, Carol. Okay, any other public comment on the fire?
We'll get you on.
One last call, we're gonna move right along. and there's no other public comment, we are going to recess the fire commission meeting and reopen the White Pine County Commission meeting. We're gonna go to page 3, item E, it's a 9:30, timed item, it's proposed ordinance number 501. It's discussion, first reading of ordinance 501, an ordinance amending chapter 2.55 of the White Pine County Code to regulate rotary wing area ambulance service within the county, to amend which ambulance service providers are exempt from the regulation of this chapter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the first reading only. You're all seeing this for the first time, the whole board. It became apparent as things developed that our franchise was ambiguous. When it had the word ambulance in it, it didn't really it didn't delineate the difference between ground ambulance or air ambulance, and also the exemptions. You know, if we have a mutual aid agreement with an agency or with an entity, that's akin to granting a franchise, so we just were making that clear in the exemptions. Just a little housekeeping on the solar ordinance to make it kind of match how we have been doing business over the last couple of years.
Okay, this is a public hearing, and we will accept public comment on this item. If there's anybody in here that wants to address this?
It's no action today, just.
Right, it's no action. It's the first reading of the public hearing, so hearing none and seeing none. You got it, George. George has got something to say on it.
Are you gonna basically assign this to one entity, one carrier,
No,
or is it open?
no. The franchise, right now, we have an interlocal agreement with the city of Ely. They're the medical provider for ground ambulance. If there's going to be, this doesn't assign it to any particular entity. This just establishes the procedures on how that would look. Does that make sense?
So someone can come in and apply?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comment from the public on this item? It's just a first reading, so we will move forward. That was just discussion. We'll move forward and go to item C, which is 10 o'clock over there. Item C is a 10 o'clock CDBG public hearing number 2. It's on page 3, item 1, public hearing number 2, discussion for public input on possible activities to be included in applications for funding under next year's fiscal years, July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. It's the State Community Development Block Grant, CDBG. Elizabeth.
Okay, so this is the second hearing of 3 required hearings for the Community Development Block Grant application for fiscal year 2021. All projects that are to be considered and ranked at the third meeting have to have been discussed or brought up during the first 2 public hearings. So far, here is what I have as far as projects that have been brought up. A project to reline the McGill sewer ponds, a project to address the issues for the McGill slag ditch. And just for your information, I did get further communication from Gene Barrett at CDBG indicating that no, the 2015 application on that, they can't certify the low to middle income for that project, so the past one won't count, but she does encourage us to go ahead and put this in for next time and to broaden the scope. Open a facility for homeless veterans in McGill, assist with the heating system for veterans rehab facility in McGill, a project for a new skateboard park in Ely, and a new park adjacent to the aquatic center in Ely. Those are the projects that I have heard so far and that we have brought up at the last meeting, or that I've had communication on since the last meeting. Nicole, have you received anything further in the clerk's office? So those are the projects. Are there any, this is the opportunity for the public to add any projects they would like to have the commission consider in their ranking at the next CDBG hearing.
Any questions by any other commissioner? Thank you for the update, Elizabeth.
Bill Calderwood.
Bill Calderwood has something.
I'd like to see the McGill, more than just the slag ditch, the whole drainage issues in McGill in general be placed on a list for stormwater.
Yeah, we've got quite an issue there, so I think that we do need to definitely broaden the scope on that.
And that would be curb and gutter as well, because they're all tied together. Thank you.
Anyone else? This is a public hearing. Anyone can speak. George?
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to see you rank the McGill sewer ponds first. Number 2 would be assisting the heating system for the Veterans Rehab Training Center in McGill. Number 3, the McGill slag ditch. The facility for homeless veterans should not be in McGill. That community doesn't have the additional facilities needed for some of those people that have problems. Maybe a larger community like Las Vegas or Reno. Skate park and the park at the aquatic center should be scrapped. You got enough parks in this community. You're strung out as far as monies go. The other items need to be addressed. Parks do not.
Thank you.
Oh, and I'm sorry, there was one more suggestion that I did receive that I want to bring up, and that is a project to assist or open a facility for homeless veterans in McGill, to broaden that scope to just homeless period, because we don't have any homeless shelters here in White Pine County. So it was asked that instead of keeping that scope that narrow, that we open it to seeing if we can get a homeless shelter.
Okay. We're still open in the public. Anybody wants to comment on this CDBG public hearing? Anyone? Seeing none, hearing none? That was a second. So let's go ahead and move on. It's 10:15, and it's time for the liquor board meeting. So I'll ask the liquor board chairman to come forward, and he opens this meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Howe. First item on the agenda is discussion for possible action. It's approval of the liquor license to Ricky Garcia Jr. for the period beginning 8/30/2019 and ending 8/31/2019 to be conducted at 4 Avenue K, McGill Pool Park for the Labor Day celebration. So Mr. Garcia has filled out the necessary paperwork, so I would intend a motion to approve that.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Travis, it sounds like Shane. Second by Shane, very close. Any further, wait, I got one question. So this is for the pool park. Does this also include the splash event at the park on Saturday?
This, well, it's date specific, so it's the 30th through the 31st, so they have that time frame. So whatever events are surrounding that is when we'll do that, so that license encompasses that weekend.
The whole weekend, so it doesn't necessarily mean 4 MK, it also includes the park. for
Well,
Saturday.
that's the address that
Okay.
they've indicated as the parties.
Okay, got it. We have a motion by Travis? Yeah. And a second by Shane. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I shouldn't have done it, you should have.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
All those in favor?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Item number 2 is discussion for possible action. It's the approval of minutes from the June 12th, 2019 liquor board meeting. Any corrections in the minutes? Everybody seen?
Approval
submitted.
I will abstain from that, I was on board.
Second. All of those in favor?
Aye.
One abstains. Thank you.
Okay. We close the 10:15 liquor board meeting. We got a few minutes before we do the next timed item at 10:30. So let's go to elected officials on page 5. Item 2A, County Commission. Item 1 is Ian Boas, Commissioner, is the discussion update on the meeting at the Governor's Office on energy that was held July 25th, 2019. Ian?
Well, it was pretty informative. I actually appreciated what you did, Richard. And basically, they told us all these great and wonderful energy programs, except most of them don't apply to us because we don't have NV Energy. And so Richard kind of piped up and was like, why, it was really cool because they were like, oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, we should fix that. So it sounded like they were motivated to work on fixing that so that we're eligible for a lot of these things. It was mostly just informative, telling us what's going on, what are the priorities of the state. I asked them about the solar stuff because everybody's all excited about solar, but I have yet to see anybody submit some hard numbers on whether or not it's actually a positive yield versus the cost to put it in. They said that that's changed, but they didn't have any numbers, so they're supposed to get us information on that. Because I'd love to do that kind of stuff if it makes sense, but we're not gonna fill up our desert with solar panels just to feel good. We'd like to have it be effective, so. Did I forget anything?
No.
It's been a couple weeks.
Okay, that was an update by Ian on the Office of Energy. We both went, and that was a good update. So without any other discussion by anybody on the commission, we'll move forward to page 5, item B. Elected officials again. Number 1, Nicole Baldwin, County Clerk. A, discussion for possible action, the approval to appoint Brett North, White Pine County Fire Chief, to the Local Emergency Planning Committee, LEPSI. Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Travis and a second by Ian to approve. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Action unanimous. Item B.
Is Nicole doing these?
Yes, thank you.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Nicole, you finish on.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, I'm kind of confused here. I can
Go
address
for
it
it.
and leave it. I'll address it, Nicole can follow up. Item B is discussion for possible action, the approval of the resignation of Alexa Mergen from the Public Lands Users Advisory Council.
Yes, thank you. Alexa's moving from the area and she's asking to resign from Quebec.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Lori, second by Ian. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Action unanimous. Item C, discussion for possible action, the approval of up to 2 commissioners to attend the September 12, 2019 KG Mining Bald Mountain Tour at Kenross.
Yes, we received the invitation that's contained in the backup material and they're wanting to see 1 or 2 commissioners attend this tour.
I would like to participate in that.
I think Shane has been, and I.
Yeah, I went last year, and it's a great tour, it really is.
It's a full day.
Yeah, I'll,
What's the deal?
The 12th,
So,
and I've actually taken another commitment for that day.
right. So Lori's willing, we need 1 more.
Great.
Travis,
Travis.
Lori and Travis.
Okay, great. I will email them to let them know and I will forward information on to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess we need an action on it.
Fire station.
Yeah.
Move to approve, sending Lori and Travis on tour.
Second.
Motion by Ian and second by Shane. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none. Discussion for possible action, the approval to hold an October 9, 2019 special joint town hall meeting with the Ely City Council, the Water Advisory Committee, and Simeon Herskovich to provide an update on the water fight at the Ely Elks Lodge at 694 Campton Street in Ely, and for a budget of up to $200 for rental fees, refreshments, and publications to come out of contingency or any other fund as the finance director deems fit.
Yes, thank you. I've been coordinating this meeting with all of the individuals involved, and so we've got it set on October 9th at 6 o'clock at the Elks Lodge because the convention center was already taken. And so I'm asking for formal approval of this special joint meeting. I need to add that in addition to these 3 boards, the city is also inviting the utility board. So we need to make sure that's included in the motion as well. And then I will, I don't think the rental fee will be very much, maybe $50, but I'm gonna make coffee and provide cookies and do flyers and advertising. Because Simeon really wants this to be a town hall meeting and get people involved and aware of what's going on.
And of course, he's not gonna discuss strategy or any other kind of stuff. He's gonna give an update to the status, what's happened in the court so far, what's coming up in November, so that our community can be present during those court hearings.
Down the road, will we have a closed session with him?
That day.
Oh, that day, okay.
It'll probably be prior to the meeting, the
Okay.
half hour before the meeting.
We'll
You
go in.
guys will meet in the closed room with Simeon and go over.
Okay.
Can we meet at the Elks Hall and close? Is that
Yes,
legal?
that's possible.
Okay, good.
What time?
I move to approve with the addition of the utility board.
Motion by Travis, second by Ian. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, passed unanimous. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Item 2 on page 5 is Mike Weaver, District Attorney. Item A is discussion for possible action, the approval of a letter regarding concerns with the discussion draft of the Clark County Lands Bill and the Southern Nevada Conservation and Development Act dated May 10th, 2019.
This is what, when Kyle Ronick was here the other day, talking about Clark County sponsoring a bill to ease up cut some red tape for SNWA to do some stuff on some power transmission. But that bill, if you look closely, also makes reference to some of our water issues, and they're trying to suspend judicial review. It's a shortcut they're trying to type in. And so we strongly oppose this, and I think, Lori, we're gonna send this letter down to,
Yes, what I had some concerns about was I felt like it ought to include all of the county commission. There was only a few on the CC.
are you talking about the signature?
Yes. Oh, the signature, yeah. I feel like that it would show a stronger support if all the commissioners had their name and that we sign it. I felt that that would present a stronger show of force.
I agree.
And then, second, it only goes to I think 3 of the county commissioners on the back. And I didn't know if there was a reason for that, because I think it ought to go to all of them. Marilyn Kirkpatrick will be she's the president-elect, she'll be the president of NACO next year, and Lawrence Weekly is past president, so Marilyn is on here, but Lawrence Weekly is not.
Okay, so we'll have that.
Yeah, and Jim, I can't remember his first name, I think it's Jim Brown. He used to he's a commissioner now, but I think he used to be a city council.
Was it going to the governor's office as well?
Is it, no, it doesn't show the governor's office.
What's Adam?
No, it just shows to our US delegation.
I mean, as a
Yeah,
CC, so.
Yeah. and
So
it's a
the motion to approve this letter would include a full signature block of this commission and the additional county commissioners that were left off in Clark County and the governor's office, because he used to be a commissioner down there.
Yes.
He knows this stuff, so.
What he said, move to approve.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Ian and a
Thank
second
you.
by, motion by Travis and a second by Ian. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None, passed unanimous. Okay, right now we're gonna take about a 5-minute break. When we come back, we're gonna go back to the 10:30 timed item. I think it was 10:30. Yeah, it's 10:30 on page 4, item E. It's the building and planning, so we'll take a quick break. We'll come back to page 4, item E.
Okay, moving right along.
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chachis reporting. The preceding program was sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by KGTV, Channel 10 in Ely, Nevada.